Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another video. Manchester United lost last night against Newcastle at Old Trafford. Another 3-0 lost at Old Trafford after Manchester City game. Of course, it was a devastating performance. The worst performance I've ever seen since the last 4 or 5 years. So everybody is turning, especially the fans is trying to turn it on every Ten Hag. So there are a lot of negative and problems are going on around our clubs. So we've been witnessing this kind of situation after the manager. When you look at the past 10 years, you give the manager so 1 year he did it great, second year he's failure, and then you got sacked and you try to appoint another manager. The same cycle has repeated. We all know that is the problem. We all know what is the big problem. This the problem is we are not realizing changing the manager is not gonna help us, because this is not about the manager. Okay, it's all about the behind them. It's all about the main, it's all about the senior staff at Manchester United, like Richard Arnold, like a recruitment team, like Glazer. Of course, when I talk about like Glazer has a full of responsibility for this kind of thing. People are saying, "Oh, Glazer is not managing the team. Glazer is not, on a page." They try talk to me this kind of thing, but we need to understand there will not be any changing if we even appoint a new manager after a second everything, because that is not the point. Look at the look. We have to clear some of the players out, and we have to give enough time every Tenga, because I believe in every Tenga, even though I'm not satisfied with the every Tenga performances. When you look at every Tenga's team, there are a lot of weakness, right? We cannot see what is the pattern. We cannot see what is Eric Ten Hag trying to do. Even though I have a lot of things in the press conference that Eric Ten Hag said, and we haven't seen any kind of improvement and Eric Ten Hag, especially this season. But there are a lot of reasons that we have to accept, because number one is injury. When I talk about injury, players are the other teams has an injury as well, but it's different. When you look at Manchester United before and defensive midfielder last season, those were the main reason why we not concede so many goals and why we perform very well. But at the moment this season, Lecha has an injury. Lecha has an injury until like December, and Luke Shaw, Malaysia, Rafael Varane is injury or ill. He's never get fit. And then when you look at Wan-Bissaka, so every player are injuries at the moment from the back four. So how can you try to fix this? The only way you trying to fix it is wait until they are coming back. But you don't have enough time. If you are Eric Ten Hag, you don't have enough time until the kind of time until they are coming back. You have to move. You have to make changes, right? So clearly you can see the difference between Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Diego Dalot last night against Newcastle. Diego Dalot has been playing since the start of season very well. I'm not gonna tell him like he's not good or something like that. But when you look at Aaron Wan-Bissaka for the second half, you can see the difference when it's come to trying to attack. Even though we didn't do any effective movement, but you can see the difference between Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Diego Dalot. So when you have Lisandro Martinez for Harry Maguire, when you have Rafael Varane for Johnny Evans or Victor Lindelof, when you have Luke Shaw for Victor Lindelof or Sergio Reguilon, you're gonna change a whole system. You're gonna change the improvement. And guess what? Casemiro has injury, but again, so this is not good for Eric Ten Hag. This is one of the main reason why Manchester United is performing very well at the moment. I'm not giving you excuses, but this is the reason why we are not performing well at the moment. But when you look at the other hand, except for injury, there are a lot of players at Manchester United who were not trying to perform if they are behind. So when you look at Newcastle games, look at the goal we conceded. How do we concede? Because they are not trying not to concede the goals. So when they concede one goal, the hypes are down. They don't have any motivate to win the game. They don't have any belief system. So what happened is getting worse and worse. So we cannot perform. Eric Ten Hag cannot have to perform this team because the players are not trying to perform for the team. The players are trying to play for themselves. Like Andy Cole says last night after the games, he says, it is very difficult for Eric Ten Hag because the players are not trying to perform. The players are not trying to play as a team. The players are not trying to play for your teammate. They're trying to play for themselves. That is when you start seeing, the fail off, because the players are not following your system. The players are not listening to you. The players are not trying to, perform very well. That is the main reason. We need to save them all. It's not all at the moment. Look at the Diego Dalot. Look at the Harry Maguire. Look at the, Victor Lindelof. So there are a lot of players who are not, we're not trying to give everything to give performance what we need. So there are a lot of players that we need to get rid of because they are not good enough to play for Manchester United. They are not listening and trying everything to do. Follow the structure of Eric Ten Hag. Follow the structure of Eric Ten Hag. This is the worst. It doesn't matter how good you are as a coach or as a manager. If the player will not follow you, you are dead. It doesn't matter you are Jose Mourinho, Luis Van Gaal, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, whatever, whoever you are. If the players are not, trying to follow your system, you cannot do nothing. So what do? We have to get rid of those players. The problem is we don't have money to get rid of those kind of players because you need to pay as money for if you want to terminate the contract, but we don't have that money. So at the end of the day, instead of trying to get rid of 4 or 5 players who does not deserve to belong this club, who does not deserve to stay this club, you get rid of the manager. You rid of the manager. So what happened is the cycle has continued. All right, we've seen the past 10 years the same problem, the same thing happening at the same time. So everybody is trying to blame Eric Ten Hag for this the reason why we are not performing. Yes, Eric Ten Hag has a responsibility. Eric Ten Hag has to share his responsibility with this kind of performance, but it is not the right thing to do, changing the manager. And this will not solve anything because we've seen this, after manager. We trying to, we get rid of Luis Van Gaal, we get rid of Jose Mourinho, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Ralf Rangnick, and now Eric Ten Hag. What is the point? What is the success? Because that is not the right thing to do. You can argue that he's not showing performance. Like I said before, he doesn't have back four which he beat on last season. So how can you try to build those kind of players, right? So that's why I think Manchester United are going to sack Eric Ten Hag if we cannot perform or improve anything before the Christmas, because Eric Ten Hag doesn't have enough time to improve himself, because he needs player like Luke Shaw, Lisandro Martinez, Rafael Varane, Wan-Bissaka, Casemiro, because those players are very important for Manchester United. The problem is those are injured. They will be, except for Wan-Bissaka, the other 3 main players gonna be out until January. So this is the horrible situation for Eric Ten Hag. I don't even know what to say. We're gonna see that there's going to sack Eric Ten Hag because that is not the answer. That's not the answer. So we need to save our, Glazers need to save the clubs, of course, but they are not going to sell, right? That is the absolutely horrendous, absolutely, not an understandable thing, because we have to be better. The problem is we have a toxic environment at the club. We have the people who are leading this club not know anything about football. That is the problem. And then I want to see that some of the player who does not belong at Manchester United need to get rid of. I want to say them. I want to say them all. But of course, when you say 3 players, you're gonna cost like 20 to 40, 60 million. But if you get rid of Eric Ten Hag, it's gonna be 50 million. So we don't have money. You have one choice: get rid of manager. That's it. So what happened? The cycle gonna be continue like the past 10 years. So this is not the right thing to do. We need to set the players who does not belong here, who does not want to play as a team here, and we need to find a player who's gonna suit our system, Eric Ten Hag system. So that is the right thing to do, and we need to give Eric Ten Hag at least this season. The problem is the fans are trying to turn on Eric Ten Hag because it's not like they don't know what's happening behind the scene at Manchester United. They know, but they don't realize that it's not gonna change. That changing Eric Ten Hag is not going to solve any problem, because you're gonna see next 2 years with the new manager fail out a game. So what are we going to do? We need to get rid of Glazer. The problem is they are not going to leave, so we are going to suffer. As long as Glazer remains at Manchester United, it doesn't matter which coach you are going to choose. It will not solve any problem just because you changed the manager, because you don't have a recruitment team, you don't have a system, you don't have the right people at Manchester United to build this club great again. So I think I'm seeing that people at Manchester United are trying to get rid of Eric Ten Hag, which is gonna be one of the saddest thing for Manchester United, because it's not easy to get a coach like Eric Ten Hag, because Eric Ten Hag has a ability and quality to improve this team, but of course he needs backup. He needs he need a recruitment team. He need system. He needs a player who are not toxic at the moment. But of course, if he cannot improve, this kind of situation, we're going to get sacked. That is the fact that we are going to see before the Christmas, in my opinion. So what do you think about this situation? Make sure on the comment below. Thanks for watching, guys. We're gonna see you in the next videos.